Okay, so now Caroline's going to insert one or two in case you don't ask for it. I want to make sure I get those done beforehand. But I'm going to do one that Grace has right away. But let me say one more thing before we go on. Homework for next Tuesday, I believe. You'll have the test on Friday, the 24th. And then homework for Tuesday, since I didn't put Euler's method or teach it or squeeze it in, it's normally on my test a couple of, not normally, but some syllabi I've seen that I put it at this time of year. And so your homework over the weekend will be to watch an Euler's method video. Euler is E-U-L-E-R, really famous mathematician. But watch the video, and then I know it scares you to death when I go, I might give you a few other problems, like as in 85 or something.
Yeah.
But I might give you, there can't be many more 2003 problems that I even can give you. I can't believe there would be that many around. But on Tuesday's class, I would want to go over Euler's method, which is very easy, so good news. It is, like not kidding. And any questions you have so far after the 2003 exam, but I'll type all that up and put it in assignments. So, Grace.
Okay, so it was number 40 on page 340.
Okay.
So I went, obviously since it was an even one, I couldn't check in the back.
Will you give me the question? Did you write it down?
Yeah. It's the integral of secant 2x plus tan 2x, tangent 2x dx. And when I checked it online, it was different than what I got.
Okay, it could be different in that yours might be right, but it may require an identity. First of all, I'll look and see if I can simplify it, but I can't simplify secant plus tangent in any way I can think of, so I'll have to go to the ones I've memorized. I'm going to let u be 2x, because no business integrating anything that's not secant, you can change it, u sine u, e to the u to the third, whatever. Du is 1/2 dx. So I have 2 du equals dx. So this becomes the integral of secant u plus tangent u. Dx is 2 du. All right, now you're memorizing these, which you do need to know by Friday. This one's ln secant u plus tangent u. And the integral of tangent, like Carla said, you could use your own whatever. I'm going to use ln secant u. And then I have plus 6.
Yeah, I got half.
And then I'm going to put in 2x.
Because I think when you did the...
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Sorry. I was thinking ahead and I don't know what I was doing. The derivative of 2x is 2 dx. Thanks, girls. And so I get 1/2 du is dx. So these are all 1/2, thanks. All right, now, so, back to my logarithm rule.
It said that was the most simplified version.
Huh?
Online, it just left it like that.
All right, what'd you do? You got something different?
I didn't add the part at the end. I just did half ln 2x plus tan 2x.
Oh, the integral of secant is ln secant plus tangent. So you didn't have what?
I didn't have the last part, the ln secant 2x.
Well, you had to integrate secant, which is
I was
this.
just confused because I was doing it like...
And you had to integrate tangent, which is this.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wouldn't you would put the 1/2 in front of
The whole thing, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And it's fine if you do like minus ln cosine?
Yes, you could do negative ln cosine. I kind of stuck with secant because then I wondered if I could do something like, let's look at our logarithm rules, do some algebra. So if you have the logarithm of a plus the logarithm of b to the base x, So that's why I'm thinking about if I could simplify this. Oh, but I can't. Okay. Where it gets tricky is it has to have a logarithm in front of both of them before you can condense it or expand it. Either way. Like if I have a logarithm of xy, I could call it the logarithm of x plus the logarithm of y. Logarithms are exponents. When you're multiplying, you can add your exponents. That's why that works. Do you see I have an ln secant plus tangent? There's no way I can call that I can't distribute that logarithm. I have to have a logarithm in front of both of them. I can condense it into multiplication. But anyway, your question's answered. Okay? Another question on your homework.
Can we do
All right.
41 on page 401?
All right. Emma, you ready? It's a melon turtle. Okay. 41 on what page?
401.
That one looks like a real.
All right, did you write down the question?
Yeah. So it was like y equals square root of e to the 2x plus e to the negative 2x, and it told us to like take the derivative of it.
All right, so dy over dx. I'm gonna always do the chain rule. Okay, so I'm gonna have, this is square root of blah. So I'm gonna have 1/2 blah to the negative 1/2.
Okay.
So I'll leave this alone. But then I've got to go back in with my chain rule. So I'm going 1/2 u to the negative 1/2. Now I've got to go back and take the derivative of the inside.
Yeah, I got this
The
part.
derivative of e to the 2x is e to the 2x to take the derivative of an exponential function. You copy it down, you say ln of whatever the base is, and the derivative of the exponent. Okay? On the other day I gave you, if you have y is a to the u, you have y prime equals, copy it down, ln of the base, the derivative of the exponent. Okay, we do e's a lot though. So when I copy it down, now I say ln of the base, but that's just 1. And the derivative of the exponent is 2. On this one, if I copy it down, ln of the base, the derivative of the exponent is negative 2.
I just couldn't simplify it. I got this part, but
All right, well, what are the rules I've told you? Negative exponents, take care of those first. Negative exponent, common denominator factor.
And then
Girls, listen. Negative exponent, common denominator factor. Those are set in stone. Those will always help you. So I'm going to drop this down to the square root of e to the 2x plus e to the negative 2x, negative exponent. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and leave this 2 down there with that. And I'm going to write this on the top. 2e to the 2x minus 2e to the negative 2x. But what can you cancel out of the whole thing? You could factor out a 2, and that leaves you e to the 2x minus e to the negative 2x.
okay.
I liked this one. I thought it was fun. Yeah, right.
There's also a whole lot going on in here. We don't learn this at Marymount. I've taught it some years at other schools. Those are really tending toward logistic curves that we'll study later, but also there's something called there's a cosine h and sine h of x. I'm sorry, I didn't even finish. That's a function like cosine, but it's it's a hyperbolic cosine and hyperbolic sine. And they have all this e stuff in it. Let's move on. Moving on. Okay. You might run into them someday. All right, other questions?
I can ask more if no one can ask.
All right, so.
Oh, I have one.
All right, Sophia's next because she had her hand up.
Yeah.
What number? Okay, Sophia. Okay. And do we have limits of integration?
0 to 1.
Okay, y'all ready? All right, I'm gonna let you, it's very similar to the one they had me work over there. I'm gonna let u be negative 3x squared. Du is negative 6x dx. Elena, you probably could work this one that other way too. This gives me negative 1/6 du. Sophia, I'm kind of happy with the pieces because I can see this x dx starting to creep in. So now I have the integral of x dx is negative 1/6 du. And then I have e to the u. And now I'm gonna switch my limits of integration because I'm never going back to x's. All right, so you fill 0 in for x and you get 0 on the bottom. Fill 1 in for x and I get negative 3 on the top. I just wish this one with somebody. Okay, girls, I have no idea what's going on.
I'm sending you pictures for class now.
Okay, there's a whole, y'all pay attention also.
Don't worry, it's
Laugh
okay.
at-
Oh, that's
Okay.
why it didn't work.
You could work it this way, but I'm not a fan of going from 0 to negative 3, so I like to switch my limits of integration. If I switch those limits of integration, what do I have to do with the sign in front? Change it. Which makes me happy anyway, because I get rid of that negative in the front. You could work it the other way and get the answer right. Sophia, so far so good? All right, so moving over here, I have 1/6. Girls, listen. I want to always say this to you because e to the u can deceive you. It can make you lazy. Good? Okay. When you take the integral of e to the u, you copy it down. Then you say over the ln of the base. But why am I not writing it right now? Because right now it's 1 over ln e. And then my limits of integration are negative 3 and 0. How many times have I said, don't neglect filling in 0? You know, we kind of get lazy about that, think we're going to get 0. In this case, I get e to the 0, which is 1, minus e to the negative 3. And I don't know how they have the answer in the back, but I'm finished short of just matching it up with something.
On the quiz, like you're supposed to do change the points too, right? But when you did it, it just didn't give the answers.
Yeah, I got like
Yeah,
7
it's-
and
it's-
8, the
yeah.
7 on the floor.
So it didn't work, so I did
Yeah,
it with
so
the
sad.
original one because it didn't work and it changed
I did it
it.
and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, I probably messed it up, but I did that and I didn't
Yeah,
get it right, so we
I
messed
got
up
The
together.
second one?
Yeah, and then I just crossed everything
Like,
out.
because I was gonna do it with the numbers that I changed.
Yeah, I changed the numbers.
I changed the numbers and it worked.
I changed
does.
the
I
numbers.
know it
Some
works.
didn't work.
You just,
What?
Could I not do basic algebra?
girl,
I think I
settle down. Anybody listening to this video is thinking I'm teaching a wild and crazy class. Okay, so, Caroline, give us one of the ones that was really hard.
Just a while ago was the integral of the square root of x divided by square root of x, just x minus 3.
Do that one.
This one?
Do that one, Maria.
All right, you may even have to remind me how I did it, 'cause I did think about this one for a while myself. Okay, at first I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fine, all right? If I let u be the bottom, I don't get the top. If I let u be the square root of x minus 3, du is 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 dx, which gives me this, 1 over root x dx, not x squared of x dx. So the pieces don't fit. It's substitution. You gotta end up with du in some form of what you're given. Now, if it was upside down, Caitlin, I would do like what we talked about. I would put this and this and separate it and then go from there. Okay? But it's not upside down, so I'm stuck with this. So I decided that I wouldn't get anywhere with that, but I think did I go back to that?
You added 3 to u.
Yeah, I think I looked at it like one of those rare ones where you actually change u if I want to get anywhere with du. I also tried to let u be the top, and I think, is that what I ended up doing? Anyway, if I go u,
From the 16.
Could you like move all everything to the top, like say like x?
it wouldn't help any. You could say square root of x minus 3 to the negative 1 power, and then you've got a worse composite function.
I moved to x.
You added 3.
Yeah.
Square
But I don't know if I let you, oh, I would have, because that would be the only way I would add the 3. But Caroline will tell you I had to play around with it for a while. I'm just like, work on something else while I play with this. So this is u plus 3 equals square root of x. What makes me do that, to think to do that, is if I feel stuck and I cannot think of any way to simplify it. Every now and then you manipulate u instead of just d. All right, now, this, the square root of x, watch this, is u plus 3. And what is the square root of x? What is the square root of x? U plus 3 minus 3, because that's still sitting there. And dx is, this is when I started to panic when Caroline was watching me, because I'm like, oh no, because I've got all this junk here. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with that? So, so I have 2 square root of x dx equals d, oh sorry. So I have 2 square root of x du equals dx, which normally I wouldn't allow. I hardly ever do that. I don't want to put a variable on the left-hand side because I haven't even integrated it. But in this case, what I would do is make sure I integrate it. I can take out dx and put in 2 square root of x du. This one took a lot of manipulation, like an identity. I'm going to take the 2 out. I have u plus 3, and once again, girls, what's square root of x? I ran into it again over u. And then I could finally finish it. There may be a better way, but I just kept hammering away at it until, I mean, that's pretty intense. I then did FOIL and divided it up like we talked about and integrated it from there, okay? But you're in AP Cal BC, headed to be the best of the best, so we got to be able to think of those things. If you have other questions, girls, do this for me. Send me emails with numbers, and I'll send out my work on it. Maybe even with my iPad where you can hear me talking. And then if you don't need to look at it, I'll post the number. I'll send it via email. So if there's something you want to see I didn't get to, meet with me or email me, and I'll let everybody know. All right? Bye, girls.